of Diddy though, I wanted to get to this next one, because Miss Caresha Please, aka Young Miami of the City Girls, wrote a letter to the judge presiding over Diddy's case and was basically begging to get my guy out of prison. Listen, I don't think he should be in that motherfucker for the crimes that they say that he committed. He got acquitted. Driving somebody from Alabama to Georgia for a little something. That's not fair time in my opinion. And that's all he got convicted for. Ain't gonna hold you. But she wrote a letter and she had a lot of interesting things in this letter. This letter seemed like she actually wrote it. And somebody
No,
just
dude.
spell checked the shit. I'm not gonna
Can't
lie.
write that shit.
This did sound like, because the things that she said, right? She said one of the most meaningful memories was when he took me to my first Met Gala. It wasn't just about the event, it was about what it represented. Sean has always made it priority to open doors for black people to make sure we are seen, heard, and valued in spaces where we've historically been excluded. The night reminded me that we belong in every room, at every table, in every conversation. He constantly encouraged me and so many others to dream bigger, walk in confidence, and never shrink who we are to make ourselves comfortable. So I am in jail facing, I forgot how much time. Maybe I think up to 10 years or something like that. You write a note on my behalf, a character reference, and you tell the judge I should be free because I took you to the Met Gala. Stupid, Miami. You couldn't come up with another example.
That's not all she said.
Come on, that was the come on, man.
That's basically, yeah.
We don't
That was the
care
largest
about
paragraph.
The letter said he paid my bills and he helped me get money. Great
that.
Yeah.
guy.
Come on, man. We gotta stop. We gotta stop.
I mean,
Okay,
I think it's nasty for other reasons, not for not for the lack of efficiency of the
man.
letter, but it's just nasty for her to write it in the first place.
Hold on, wait.
Right.
She said
She's
something
supposed
else
to.
ridiculous too. She said he also gave me a voice by providing me a platform on his network to speak for the culture and connect with people in a way that was
Yeah, hello,
realistic
her
and
talk
authentic.
show.
The
Her
A
interview
revolt.
thingy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carisha talks.
The
Yeah.
opportunity changed the direction of my career and showed me the impact one person can have when they choose to uplift others. Basically, like Sweetest said, he helped me get money, so take him out of jail.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's
That
like,
man paid my bills.
it's
Come
like,
on.
bro, come on, Young Miami.
That's all she had to say. I mean, what else could she say?
I
Truly,
would
what
rather
else
you
could she
say
say?
something more at trying to pull at heartstrings, something
For
more
real.
profound, as the world
He's a
view.
good dad. Yeah.
Profound as but she talked about his father. I mean, what do you mean something more pull on the heartstrings? You
She
had
said,
me running around the country collecting pink cocaine. You had me licking coochie. It was gangbangs all over the place. What is tugging on the heartstrings about my
hey,
time with you?
figure it out. And then after that, she said, oh yeah, we served food on Thanksgiving one time. I'm like, man, throw this shit away. I know the judge was like, really? Come on. This was
Yes, because
ridiculous.
it's ridiculous because it's all she could say. There was nothing else this lady could say.
You gotta have some type of lawyer or somebody come together. That's why I said I feel like she genuinely wrote this and then had folks just,
I genuinely
proofread
think
it.
she chat GPT'd it.
She
I
did
think
not
she
write
did.
that off her brain. Yeah, so I'm like, have you heard Carisha speak? She did not write. I love her, but she
Yeah.
did not
She's
write that
from
for her. Come on now.
Miami. Like, come on now.
I was cracking up reading this shit. Kenya, why do you think that she shouldn't have wrote it? Here we go. You about to drag us to hell.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, obviously, we know that, the world that we live in, when men do, I mean, I'm not here to talk about what's trafficking or what's not. Not really so much about that, but just about like women's quote unquote responsibility when it comes to like you dating a guy that has like beaten up, his previous chicks or has history of like domestic violence. Um, I just feel like, obviously you can't control like, women's movements to that sense, but I would like a bit more of like a united front because men are very lockstep when it comes to their things and what they go through. So it's just like, I hate when women kind of aren't doing that when it's something like so severe. So it's just like, even if you're still gonna date him, if that's like what you choose to do, damn it, I don't think you need to come out and write a character letter to attest to his good character, and you know that he was doing the last chick any kind of way. I don't think that the mindset of, oh, he didn't do it to me, so hey, I don't think that that's helpful, because then men say, in the next breath, then you have men saying, well, I mean, you guys love the bad guys, you guys reward abusers and bad men, and clearly, I'm always going to get another bitch. So it's like, why do I have to not harm women? It doesn't stop anything.
Yeah, that's nasty. Go ahead, sweetest, because I know you tag team. Y'all like Matt and Jeff Hardy when you come up on the stage. Go ahead.
Oh my God. No, I think it's lunchtime, but okay. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think it looks bad, optically speaking. But at the end of the day, the way I see it, you can't indict Diddy because of hearsay and the streets knowing that he's not a good person. So her doing it doesn't look that bad to me. I mean, for me knowing that I just know. And can you like walk away? Yeah, can you?
At
Yeah.
least she stopped asking for them waffles.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Sweetest, go ahead, get baby together. We, go ahead, Watcher.
Afternoon to everybody. Peace to the room as always. As I was listening and I saw this story yesterday briefly, I agree with mostly what folks just spoke on the stage. To be quite honest with you about how it doesn't reflects poorly against Miami. But I would offer this question. It seems to me that the question is, are as individuals, are we the total sum of our bad deeds, or a mixture of both what we've done good and what we've done bad? Meaning, like, all right, what if the daughters, he has twin daughters and so forth. What if his sons, what if his children write letters saying, like, listen, he's an outstanding father. Like, he didn't beat them. He physically harmed Cassie and maybe some other ladies for that matter as well. My only point is to say, like, can anyone write a character letter for this man? Is he the total sum of what he's done harmful to Cassie and others, or is he the total,
No,
or
I
is he the
mean,
total sum of all his deeds? And in that regard, could you then therefore write a letter saying, "Listen, yeah, but this is how I know the man." Does that make sense?
yeah, I mean, I hear you, but I feel like, I mean, you can, right? Like, yeah, you can. In worser cases, like we've had serial killers, serial rapists, like prolific pedophiles. They've had family members, they've had children, come out and say, "This is my father. I love him." Woo, 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 even though he's done these horrible things. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, if you on trial and you freaking rape 10 chicks, but it's 500 throughout the course of your life that you interacted with that you never touched, and they all write a letter and say, I mean, hey, he ain't touched me. I mean, yeah. I mean, sure. Okay. Just, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I mean,
don't see how
okay.
that. Yeah, I just don't see how like how
What that got to
what that
do?
does for anything. Yeah, what that does. I mean, but at the end of the day, that's an extreme. They're going to say you're being extreme with your example because at the end of the day, we don't have this information on paper for Diddy, right? So this is people leaning on being obtuse, right? Um, they're going to be like, yeah, she's just vouching for her public boyfriend because they knew that they were dating. Um, but niggas know he's not a good person. But at the end of the day, it does look. The only reason why it looks bad is because we all seen Cassie get dragged and kicked.
Right. So,
That
Uh,
makes him a bad
hold on, wait
person.
one
I
second,
don't
Watcher.
care. You know what I mean? I don't
I
care what
mean,
else he
niggas
did,
still
but
honor Dr. Dre. I mean, to this day, I will hear men in spaces. He is still bigged up. He's still revered. He has not lost. And everyone saw him beat that girl to a pulp in that studio. So it's just like, I
I
don't,
think that it's it's a psyop, right? The prosecutor did their job in where every time you bring him up with this case, you have to talk about something that didn't involve this case, right? And so in that instance, the
yeah, it's just
prosecution
rumors.
they they spent the first week and a half, 2 weeks on just bashing his character, right? And playing the tape and then having Cassie Mama up there, right? So they did their job. But when we're talking about this case and his convictions for traveling across state lines with the intent of prostitution, that's very vague, right? It's very, we gotta be honest. Nobody should be in the feds for that. If you have somebody who is a willing participant, we talked about, we always talk about consent and stuff like that. When you have somebody in that space who knows what's going on, there's text messages, there's pictures sent, there is testimony of not wanting to leave him and be with him. And then on top of that, now he's taking you somewhere like as if it's like against your will. It's very weird. So when we're talking about this specific case, I don't think that he should be in federal prison for what he is convicted of. Now, did we see the Cassie video and he beat the hell out of her? Obviously, that is wrong and no woman should be subjected to that behavior from the hands of a man. Obviously, right? That's always been my stance. But when we're talking about this situation, no, I don't think that that's crazy to say. And I think that we get into a weird place in where, like you said, I don't think men are as in lockstep with a lot of situations, but a lot of men do understand the effect of something being said about them and their what is it called? Their image after, rumors or allegations. So a
Well,
lot of times men stand in the gap of that because a lot
right.
of
I
men
need to
have experienced
rephrase
that.
it because that's really what I'm. Yeah, that's more so like what I meant. I have a different like perspective on it than you, but yes, more so like men. When men are accused of wrongdoings, men get in lockstep. When women come out as victims, you will see a lot of the time that women aren't even lockstep in her being a victim, but the man is always in lockstep with other men on him not being the perpetrator. So it's
And
just
I
like,
think it's more men are in lockstep of let it play out because I think we understand the currency in the social currency in a woman crying on camera, right? And what that does to the community, right? Especially when she says she is crying at the hands of a man, and it could be for any reason. She could be crying because the nigga don't never put the toilet seat down, right? And
it
there's
don't
going to
do
be a
much
lot of
though. It
backlash.
don't, you overstating what it do. It don't do that much, bro.
Um,
Like we
it
still up here talking about can Diddy come back and we
Uh,
saw him be.
it definitely it
Rashad, name any man in the industry that has harmed a woman and that has actually had to pay an actual price for it. So please
Chris
knock R.
Brown.
Kelly out the
no
way.
no hold on.
Knock,
I think that one see when we even like fundamentally pay a price means different for men and women because when women say pay a price, y'all are saying that the nigga should be wiped off the face of the earth. And I don't think that that's necessarily the case and where that should be true, right? I think that he can have an indiscretion and then go through the proper steps of
it's about not
accountability
being
and still come back on
excused.
the other side. Y'all want
Yes,
the nigga to never make no money again. He can't never get no job again. He can't never have no platform. He should be from 20
right,
years old to 80
right.
years old. He should be a hermit that can never do anything ever again.
And
And
that's
so
what,
that is,
right. But we've been doing that, right? We've been, anytime harm happens and it's in the terms of a woman being harmed, that's all we do. We sit up and we figure out a way that it probably really wasn't that bad. We sit up and figure out a way that she probably wasn't that much of a victim. We say that he was wrong, a little bit of, yeah, he was wrong. And then we pass it over and then he's still revered and he's still welcomed in the community. That is not like we can't move forward in this conversation if we're not even being honest about the premise that those kinds of things don't actually harm men the way that you guys like to make it seem, because that just doesn't play out in reality.
I, I, we'll just, and we're gonna get to watch her. I think it does. And then also, like I say, countless times, I think that we should, if we're going to have conversations like this, then we should be able to have the full conversation. So when we talk about their relationship dynamic, we should be able to bring up every aspect that we know about the relationship and not just stop at Diddy did something and not acknowledge how complicit she was and not acknowledge how she was hitting up the prostitutes in the back channels and having her own free calls, and not acknowledge the fact that she was also addicted to drugs and alcohol, not acknowledge all of those things. We just have to stick to what Diddy did in this situation. And I
Right.
think that's the disingenuous part of it
Right. Did
all. And,
Cassie, right. Did Cassie beat his ass?
that's what was said. It was said that she put her hands on him before.
Okay.
Go ahead, Watcher.
Yeah, I think we all can agree that Cassie putting her hands on Diddy and Diddy putting his hands on her is two different things as it pertains to the impact and the
True.
harm
But I'm just
of it.
answering the question on its face.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But the impact of the harm of the two actions are two different, are significantly different. Again, not to sound like a broken record, but it seems to me that these conversations around violence towards women, essentially, and the perpetrators, more by and large, going to be men. It comes down to how do we view the perpetrator in his totality, right? Like, is it the case that's suggesting that, remember, we know about all his other girlfriends, right? This isn't an R. Kelly situation. This isn't an Epstein situation. This isn't a situation where there's a plethora, Bill Cosby situation, a long line of women are saying, me too, me too, me too. I was punched and I was harmed.
He broke what was her name? Kim? He broke her
I
nose.
know that. And that was horrible. And I'm asking you, because of the actions that he had with Cassie and the harm he caused her, is your position to suggest that that's enough to throw him out and erase him completely? And when you make that,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
hold on,
Yes. It is.
Are you making that decision in its totality for all the other good actions he's committed?
Yes. Yes. Yes, I am.
Good has he done?
Yes, I am, Marsha.
Did you not
Yeah.
just read the
Like
letter, sweeter?
if
He
nobody
said
will
Bro,
women
stop.
stand
shouldn't
up,
I don't
bro,
shoot
if
even.
people for
nobody
Hold
will,
on,
women.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
God forbid it will be people like me, because if it
No.
ain't nothing but people like you, women just gonna keep dying and keep getting
I'm
hurt,
about
and
to
ain't
say,
shit
wait,
never
wait, wait,
gonna
wait,
get
wait,
done.
wait, wait.
Fuck out of
What?
here.
Reading. If me giving every homeless person I see $5 makes me a so-called good person, like, okay, it's we're allowed to weigh, like, and weigh differently. Like, we're allowed to see that some things are worse than others, right? Me getting somebody money in this oddly nasty sexual capitalistic society that they are in, because they don't live in the same society that we do, he's not doing much good for them, right? Last I checked, he ain't building homes for the homeless. He's not feeding the fucking hungry. He's not doing things in altruistic manners to where we can say he is a good person. Everything that he is doing is of selfish gain for selfish reasonings for fucking power in the hierarchy of what Hollyweird is. No, as somebody who I just don't see the benefit of him being that person. Yes, him beating his side bitch to the point where she lost his baby. He shouldn't be around and he shouldn't be supported, and people shouldn't support him so that people.
They said we could talk about it and move on.
No, but see, but that's the whole thing. If he didn't have the
Nobody said move
notoriety that
on.
he
I
Yeah,
said
we
to
didn't
had,
talk
say
about the
that.
whole situation if you're going to talk about it. So to
right?
Watcher's point,
Certain
one, I think
context.
if you Google Diddy's philanthropy, you'll see a lot of shit, right? So, like, even from that premise of, I don't see it, so it must not be real, I don't think that's fair. I think that there are a lot of people in which has impacted, and then discrediting the women who have been in his life personally throughout years of him being on this earth, and discrediting them as, oh, that's just some Hollywood shit that don't really mean nothing. I think that's disingenuous. It's like, either be on this side, or now we're going to discredit your ass too. And that's fucked up.
No, I don't
And
think it's
can I?
discrediting. I just think that personally, what we're talking about, right, is something as extreme as abuse and damn near attempted murder. Him helping a few people get a job that they probably would have already got, because it's a whole bunch of nepotism and already fucking a whole bunch of
Because
nepo
he gave
babies
a
in
bitch a
that area.
podcast. I'm supposed to
Right.
treat him like Mother Teresa.
And that's where it's just like, I think it's fair to say that the impact is just not the same. Because if he were to end up successfully killing a woman in the abuse of his abusive patterns, would we now sit down and think,
They be having
how
the
many
same
jobs,
conversation.
right?
No,
How
I
many
think that
jobs did
that's
he
Can
a
I?
give to people?
They be having the same
All right.
conversation.
that's
So
a
I put
that's
it
without
on
a
my
that's
kid.
without
a
I put it
giant
on my
leap.
kid.
Listen,
We would be having the same
one
conversation. Y'all
small
don't care,
step for
bro.
man, One
Y'all
Oh my
large
care.
step
God,
for
Fuck,
Sweden.
y'all
Rashad.
don't
I'm not
care.
gonna lie. That is a large step because the truth of the matter is there are toxic relationships and where people put their hands on each other. Is that right?
Oh
No. Hold on,
my God.
That's
Advocates
not
too,
what
Rashad.
Rashad.
Rashad, advocates too,
hold on.
bro.
What I'm saying is those things aren't
No,
right,
bro,
and
we're
those
not.
things, but to and
But Rashad,
it
that's
does
what we're
escalate.
talking about.
Hold on. It does escalate in some cases, but I don't. It doesn't seem like it in that case with Cassie and Diddy. It seems like one, they were addicted to drugs and they were into all kind of sexual things. And then for that instance, now, the video comes out and it seems like, all right, cool. We have to put him away for the video. And so we're going to have all these other charges and none of them shit stick. So you get a transport across state lines and that's not something to be in the feds about. Obviously you guys are women. You, Kenya.
Rashad, you will go if Diddy got out today. You will go do a song with him tomorrow.
No.
So what are you talking about?
Not,
Because I've
here's
been
what.
saying it. I've been saying, hold on, wait. I've been consistent this whole time, and what he did, what we seen was wrong. But should he be in federal prison for driving a bitch from Alabama to Georgia? The fuck? No.
No, no,
I don't
he
think he should
shouldn't.
be in
But that's
federal
not what I'm.
prison for that.
No, no, he should not. I'm not here to. Yeah,
And
I'm gonna
so
shut
for
up.
Caresha to write a letter and say, hey fam, now basically get him out of jail, I don't think that that makes her look bad. And I think that that was the words that you and Sweetest, used.
Yes, as
And
a
when it
woman,
said,
It
that
makes her
makes her.
look bad
Yes,
as a
it
woman.
does
Yes,
make her look
it
bad.
makes
Yes,
her.
it
It does
does.
make
I'm
her
the
look
woman, and
bad
I
as a
get to say that,
woman.
Rashad. It makes her look bad. You will
It
not
does.
catch me, Rashad. I don't. If I'm dating my fiance right now. Right now, okay? If I come to find out that you was beating hoes black and blue back in the day, and anything happens with you legally, first of all, we're not together anymore. And second of all, no, I will not be right. He's done amazing things for me. Rashad, I will not be writing shit.
All right, can I jump in real
If
quick?
anything,
go,
if
hold on, wait,
anything,
And he knows that.
let Finn go because Finn didn't talk. Finn, Rasheem, and then we got you, Watcher.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's the word, fam? How you feeling?
Man, feeling well, feeling well. Thank you, bro. Just listening, man. I'm glad that some of y'all are not judges or some of y'all ain't God because y'all just be willing to just throw people away for like, and I get it. What he did wasn't right, but can he not be forgiven as far as can he not be changed? And a lot of y'all, we judge people at their like lowest moments and you don't know the day to day. Of this person. Many people probably in this space have people that they love that if they were to be judged at their lowest moment, that wouldn't be who they truly are. So I think a lot of you guys it's easy to point the finger whenever you're not the person that's going through it.
Okay, are we even talking about the same thing? Because we're talking about Carisha. Because Rashad, I posited it the way that I did in the prompt so as to avoid all of this. Because I'm talking about what are women's responsibilities to other women as far as DV or sexual assault or things of that nature. So
Yeah, so
how
with that,
she looks writing that letter, I get what you guys are
Yeah, it's
saying. He doesn't need to sit in federal prison for bogus trafficking charges. That can be fine and that could stand as a statement. That does not have to be tied with Carisha writing it was about what? It was 50 other people that wrote letters. What I'm saying is if I'm dating a guy with those things and there still has yet to be accountability for that because I'm not buying that video where he was still drugged up giving the apology for the ass whooping, if there is yet to be accountability in the culture
hey, but
for
didn't
that,
didn't she
no,
get a
I'm
check?
not writing a letter.
Didn't she get a check though?
what does that got to do with anything?
I'm saying she got a settlement. That's what she was looking for, right?
No,
no,
well, that's the
we talking
best thing that
about,
she could have gotten. But we're talking about rectification when it comes to something is wrong. Like, can we take
and
the
I think
principle out of certain situations and then
to,
commentate it on
to,
that
um,
and that?
to
Like, I don't get
Kenya's
it.
point, I would write a letter if it was for my girl, right? If my, like, and I met her after whatever she was going through and we done spent 4 years together and I came to know her and we lived together and I see your day to day and who you are. I would write a letter. I don't think that that's the craziest thing to say. And I do get the other side of it. And when you're saying, you know, as far as responsibilities to other women and being lockstep,
That's
I
just
can
not
only
my
put
politics,
myself in
Rashad.
that
I'm sorry.
position
I just
of,
honestly feel like if we all
Personally,
think like that, women
I've been put in a
fare
position. I've
bad,
been put
bro.
in a position to where I would have to. I've been put in a position where I was in a predicament where I was supposed to defend my significant other, right? And I did. And going based off of the fact that I feel like I've been in a situation where somebody was coming for my significant other's character due to nefarious behavior that has happened or what they claim has transpired against him. If I were to go back and I were to talk to my old self, I would just mind my business and shut up. I wouldn't say I'm not saying I would cut my nigga off. I would, we wouldn't be together no more. I would shut up and that would be it. I wouldn't defend. I wouldn't defend him. I wouldn't. I would just listen. I would, feel whatever it is that I'm feeling. I would hear my significant other out and I would, wait and see.
so
Cause,
let me ask you a question. You and King, then we're going to get the Rasheen and Watcher. But where do you draw the line of taking that passive approach? Right? Are you, going to be as passive with everything that's said about them? Right? Are you going to take their back? Like, because I think that is,
It's about the
that's kind of,
severity of the accusations. I mean, I think that's fair to say. It would be for me. It would be the severity of the accusation. If we're talking about sexual assault or rape, if that girl is presenting evidence, if anything seems credible, then yeah, we got different discussions to have. If you're telling me that the accusation was a domestic dispute and there was physical, violence involved, and it seemed to be a mutual thing, then yes, that can be a conversation. But for me, I'm fine and comfortable in saying that I don't look at all domestic violence the same, and I don't look at the severity of all levels of it the same. So if the domestic violence was severe, if that girl got seriously injured, if there was serious harm, if he over there causing miscarriages, if you breaking noses, then yeah, one, I wouldn't be defending you, and two, I'd be doing some mental recalculations for myself about where I'm at in life.
go ahead, Rasheen.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good
What's the word?
afternoon.
How you feeling?
Doing pretty good, man. Beautiful day in Brooklyn on this day off. Happy Rosh Hashanah to the Jewish people.
What the hell you think this is, Rasheen? I gotta
Listen,
start over.
let me get to the point. I'm just whatever. I have a day off. I'm just saying why. Okay, so let me get to the point. Okay. Um, Yeah, look, who is Caresha? All right. Caresha to me is opportunist. All right. She was hitting up on the Diddy stuff, right? Trying to get all the fame and recognition, all the money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And to me, this letter just reads, I want to keep that going. Okay. I agree with what Kenny and Sweetest is saying. I don't think it looks pretty bad of you to be making this letter when you know there's crimes that he has done. And I know we keep going back to the trafficking and things like that. Diddy, I mean, I don't remember all the details, but Diddy was sentenced. And I don't think he was sentenced for the trafficking situation, but I know he was sentenced for something, right? So I don't understand why we are kind of also ignoring that. And again, I also don't know why Christian's ignoring that. He did, at the end of the day, you did a crime, right? So, and you got to do the time for the crime. To even go back a few minutes earlier when you said, where's the line drawn? The line drawn is in the truth, right? And Diddy did crimes and that's the truth. And he got sentenced for it. That's it. So your letter to me just doesn't hold no weight. And people do it all the time. Like I remember last point, I know this happens all the time, but I remember recently, when that Nickelodeon documentary dropped and they were talking about that guy that abused all them kids in Nickelodeon. People were trying to write letters for that guy too. You know what I'm saying? Which is nasty work. You know what I'm saying? So your letters holds no weight. You did a crime. Go to the time. Caresha, please go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's disingenuous to have that conversation of you do the crime and do the time and then also have the conversation of the excessive sentencings that black men get or the fact that we are exonerated more than anybody else in this country. Us knowing these things.
Oh
So for
my
me, like
God.
doing the crime and doing the time, hey fam, the truth of the matter is this first of all, the origin of this law is derived from racism and racist ideology. One, and then two, like, you shouldn't be in the feds, Rasheed. Like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Do the crime, come on, man, stop
You
it.
just want
And I
niggas
think
to get away with anything.
Rashad, I hear
no,
what you're
I don't
saying.
think that
no,
has
I
they
think that
want
nigga.
hate women, bro.
No, I think that niggas should be going to jail for the things that they do, but I also know how the justice system treats black men.
What
And so
sentence
on
would
one
you be
hand, you want
happy
to have
with
those
for him
conversations, and on
beating?
the other
So
hand, because it's a nigga that you don't like, then fuck that. Fuck
if
how the
he had
justice
to,
is.
if he
Like, come
had to
on.
be charged for beating Cassie's ass, and he was charged for it, and he was convicted, what is a sentence you would be happy with?
Whatever the law books say.
If it said 10 years, would you be happy with that?
I, 10 years, that's a lot.
So
I
you
would
wouldn't
say,
be happy with what the law
I
says.
would
Right.
say
Anyways,
no, because it gives a range.
I'm
Right.
I
done.
would say if you
I'm done.
Fucking
whooping her,
dickhead.
3 years, 3 to 5, go ahead and do your time. 10 years, that's a lot of time. But what I'm not against, like, if he got on trial for that, obviously. But that's not what we talking about. Go ahead, Watcher. And then we got
Appreciate it.
Gotti and Scully.
Appreciate it. It seems to me as I'm listening diligently to the conversation that the real crux of it, from my perspective, comes down to two things. It seems that some of the ladies are asking that Caresha be on what you guys call girl code, right? One female or one or two females were harmed by a man physically, and so therefore once there's a predator amongst us, all ladies must stand lock and step in denouncing and canceling these individuals completely through on, right? That's the position you ladies seem to have on the matter. You want him
Men
erased
should too, though,
completely.
also.
Hold on, bro. I waited. Canceling this man completely. All right, ladies, y'all want that to be the position. I think that a lot of that is rooted in, you're not going to like what I'm about to say, but I still think it's the truth of the matter. It's rooted in you all's you all's devaluing of men. You don't really value men. If you're so easily able to throw one away completely because of his transgressions, it tells me by and large, as it pertains to men, you truly don't care about them, have much value in them.
Washer, are you
Hold on,
serious right
darling. I
now?
waited. Don't
Yeah,
make me raise
that's
my
not
voice.
fair. That's
Don't
not
He
make me raise
fair.
my
waited and
voice.
listened
I just want to finish,
diligently.
Rashad. That's it. It's a layup. It's not even
Let him
that.
finish. Let him finish.
Here is why I'm
Oh,
saying that, because even though you want to reduce it down to all he did was give some girl a podcast, the listening audience, shout out to Rashad's listening audience, is intelligent enough to know the history of who P. Diddy is, Bad Boy Records, and all of his accolades, successes, and achievements. And it wasn't until not but 2 or 3 years ago until this whole Cassie storyline jumped off until we realized he had villainous ways. If this was 2015
Hold
or
on.
throughout
We
the
knew he
whole,
killed
I don't
Tupac.
need any help. I don't want to raise my voice. I waited. I don't want to yell.
Hold on, wait. Go ahead.
My only point is when it was him campaigning for Obama and get out the vote and him running the New York City Marathon. I go on and on. You didn't have no smoke for Diddy. We loved him. He loves black people. When he started, I don't want to read off his accolades. My point is this. Now, because he had a transgression, a violent one, you all want all women to go shoulder and shoulder and say he must be removed from the playing field completely. Cool, no doubt. If you're going to do that, and based off that instance, you're going to be removing a lot of men, and you're erasing all of their good notions, or not notions, acts as well. And the only reason you're comfortable doing so, because you really don't value men in their totality.
Who
Let me
said something
read
for
this.
all
Let me
for
read
all
this.
abusers,
I got.
guys?
Hold on, wait 1 second, Rasheem. I got a message from a woman. She said, "Caresha speaking on her experience with Diddy doesn't invalidate the other women's experience. She's not their spokesperson or lawyer. It isn't her responsibility to take up their plight. She don't know them and don't have a relationship with them. That doesn't mean she can't have empathy for their experience, but requiring her to take up their issues is not her
The way she
responsibility."
texted that, I can already
Amen.
see the
Amen.
IP.
Shout out to that lady.
Hey, fish in the air. Fish in the air for some sense. Go ahead.
love to her.
So you're telling me the only time you're supposed to
Love
defend
to her.
somebody or have some sense of couth or integrity
It's when you
is
know
when you
them.
have a relationship with
That's
them?
it. That's the only time
Hey,
when you know them. And
listen.
even then,
And
they'll
even
tell
then
you
you shouldn't,
that
because
because
they
you
don't
know
know her
them.
and they don't owe her nothing.
No,
And
they
and,
gonna
and,
tell you
and then
because you
and then
know
hold
them. You
on,
supposed to
Kenya. And then to the watcher's point, so what basically all what that nigga just yapped about and spoke diligently on is if you do enough good, the fucked up shit you do don't even matter,
if you
bro.
start enough
Don't
Doesn't
even
matter.
labels,
it
if you
don't
put out enough
matter.
hit records, if
You can
you
run a
put on
marathon.
enough hoes that you were fucking
You can do
anyway, if
what you
you provided
want.
a
Listen.
lifestyle for
Y'all are
bitches you
When
was
nasty.
fucking,
Yes.
Y'all are
when
nasty for
you
And
are
summarizing.
when you
now
didn't make it to band,
exonerated
do
and
what
You
you
absolved.
want.
Now,
y'all are nasty for
and you can't
summarizing
mute me,
Watcher like
Rashad.
that. Go. Let's get
when
back
you
to the heads,
when you put the
and then
band
you
on.
trying to
You
pile
know
on
what?
Rasheem.
Let me put my hand up and be
Nasty individual
respectful.
Rasheem. Go ahead, Mick Gotti
He
this
gave
fully.
respect to Tupac. We don't care if he beat a bitch and stomped on her. What?
Go ahead, Mick Gotti.
So I'm finna tell you what I really think about y'all. Y'all just gonna cancel me. I don't give a fuck.
Oh God.
He said, do your baddest, Kenya.